And yes, everybody, we are back here at the PrinceOnyx Network, and we are doing the review, the recap for Minority Report Season 1, Episode 5, The Present. Let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? So, this episode starts off with a flashback of the year 2048. It was 8 months before the pre-crime program had took place. The location is the Spiral. We are still in Washington, D.C. So, this is the night that Laura's father, who was an officer of the law, was unfortunately killed while on duty. He was in a dark alley space when he was investigating some sounds that he had heard, and then pretty much he was, he went to go check it out, and next thing you know, he turned around, and within a blink of an eye, he was shot down, he was gunned down, and then we see this like mystery homeless man who walks out of the alley, and it appears as though he is the one who committed the crime. Also, the homeless person or homeless man had stole Laura's father's pocket watch, and which was something that was very sacred and dear to him, but not only to him, but also to Laura and her mother. So, let's go ahead and fast forward to the past, not to the past. Hold on. So let's go ahead and fast forward to the present. I almost said future. Oh my goodness. Let's go ahead and fast forward to the present, where Arthur is having a meeting with Agatha via hologram, where she has uncovered some plans from 10 years ago. These are some blueprints from 10 years ago that proves that the government, but specifically the DIA, which is the Defense Intelligence Agency, had plans for the precogs had pre-crime not been canceled. So they had plans to move forward with the project had the stuff had not been canceled. And so with that being said, pretty much what Agatha was trying to communicate with Arthur was that, is that pretty much this is what she keeps seeing in her visions, and it's most likely gonna be due to the involvement of Dash and and Laura working together. She really truly believes that that is going to be what ends up sending them to jail. So it's just like, she loves her brother with all her heart. She loves Dash, but it's just like he's going to make mistakes, and these mistakes could slowly but surely end up being why they end up going back into the milk bath, that just like the one that they were in 10 years ago. So of course, Arthur's just like, it's just kind of like wait and see, because it is what it is, so they just leave it at that. So next we have Laura, who is waking up the following day, and it just so happens, ironically, that it is her birthday. And she meets her mother in the kitchen, who is having coffee, and she pretty much, wishes her a happy birthday. And the sad part about it is that Laura and her father, they actually shared a birthday. That was really sad. This episode, to me, was very emotional, because it's just like, to lose somebody that close to you, as a relative, but more so a parent. It really was just like, wow, like, you see why she's so passionate about her job, because it's like, there's a reason why she joined the force. And so pretty much her mother asks her, if she has any plans for the evening, and of course Laura says that she'll have to work late, when really she's trying to avoid, she's trying to avoid the eerie feeling of the fact that, her and her father share a birthday, and it just, to Laura, it seems just like yesterday that she lost her father. So it's like, that's something that you can never get over. When you lost a relative, a parent, or somebody close to you, it always feels like, it always feels like just yesterday that you lost that person. So Laura walks into the office, into the precinct, and she is met by Dash, who welcomes her with a bouquet of flowers, and he wishes her happy birthday. But of course, Laura again is not too big on birthdays. So before they head over to meet with Aquila, she pretty much she was an extra. He was a fellow officer. He pretty much asked her, "Oh, what are you gonna do with those flowers? Are you going on prom night?" Basically, making a joke at Laura, and she pretty much went off on him and was just like, "Oh, you want to eat them?" Because like, she really is not too big on birthdays, and again, it's a very emotional day for her. So they meet up with Aquila. Hold on. Sorry about that. So anyway, they meet up with Aquila, and pretty much, she tells Dash about why Laura is being so bitchy in a sense, and of course, he apologizes because he did not know the circumstances, and Laura says that it is a-okay, he didn't know any better, so it is what it is. She pretty much explains what happened, which, she explains what happened with her father and how he was killed 8 months before pre-crime had started, which causes Dash to bring up how, prior to pre-crime taking place, the three of them, him, Agatha, and Arthur, were in beta testing before pre-crime had started. Of course, Aquila tells them to stop talking because Aquila tells them to stop talking because Will and Henry Linfield, who is Henry Linfield is the head of the DIA. They are walking towards them, and Will pretty much is taking Henry on a tour of the precinct. When Henry, pretty much, he meets Laura, and he is very honored to meet her because he's heard so much about her, and so he wants her to join them on the tour, and so she does. So when she goes off with the two of them, Dash, he looks at his watch because it goes off, it letting him know that he's about to have another vision. So pretty much, Laura, Will, and Henry are talking, and they're taking the tour. And Henry and Will, they are speaking very highly of Laura. She feels honored and very thankful, and it's just like, thank you guys so much. It's like, it's really no big deal. Ever since we got the whole Hawkeye program installed, everything's been a-okay. Well, things have been getting a little bit, I guess, better at the job or whatever. And just, it is what it is. So, oh shit. So yeah, let's see. Will says that pretty much just speaking highly of her, and then Will lets Laura know that they have been invited to the office to come and meet with Henry and talk about more things, include like more government things and more crime things and stuff of that nature. And pretty much now when she's talking to them, she turns around facing them, and when she faces them, she sees Dash walk behind him, and he shows her like he brushes his hair with his hand and shows her the watch, showing that he's about to have another vision. And so for a split second, Laura freezes up, and it's just like oh shit, he's about to have another vision. But then she gets herself together because she's like, oh yeah, I heard, yeah, he's gonna invite us to the office, everything will be all right, yeah, we can talk, blah 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 blah. So let's fast forward, and we see them at Willie's house, and they have already extracted the vision, and they are playing it frame by frame, and they're trying to find clues, and they keep hearing like a ticking sound going off, and then they hear like screams, they hear gunshots, 2 gunshots to be specific, and because of the circumstances of the vision, Laura can't tell if it happens during the daytime or if it happens at night, and pretty much Laura then pauses. She tells Wally to pause the vision because she sees a rare sports jersey, a 2019 sports jersey for the team called the Red Clouts. And pretty much 2019 was the year that the team, whatever their name was, they changed their name to the Red Clouts. And she knows about this jersey because she's been eyeing one for the longest time because it's a rare jersey to find. And so this then Dash says that, oh, we should just have Aquila to run some purchase records to see if anybody recently bought one. Oh crap, fuck, I just gave it away, damn it. Anyway, listen, long story short, well, before that happens, because I just realized I gave it away. Now, before that happens, Laura talks to Wally about the beta testing that Dash had brought up earlier. He says that they recorded everything matching, visions with future murders, and they were pretty much working out the kinks before pre-crime had launched. But, legally they were not able to act and prevent these murders, and that with beta testing it's very difficult to get those records because they once pre-crime got shut down, a lot of everything was taken. The government pretty much wanted to come in and wipe up everything and basically cover their ass. So but he says that he'll ask an old friend if he can like poke around and find anything that involves beta testing, because she wants to know if there is the footage out there that the precogs had of her father being murdered. She wants to really solve his case. That's a cold case that she really wants to solve. And so I really apologize, y'all. It's like every time that I like do my videos, even when I'm like I don't know if it's because I do more than one video or like more than 2 videos, but it's like my throat. It feels like it's trying to go out. I apologize. And also, you know, the seasons are changing as well, so please forgive me, y'all. The seasons are changing, and just, this is not me, okay? I swear I hate sinuses because I feel like that's what it is. Anyway, anyway, so yeah, pretty much, she just, yeah, he says that he'll ask around, but Laura says that that's okay, you know, she'll find another way to find out about this beta testing. So Laura and Dash go to Aquila to find out about if anybody purchased one of those jerseys that they were talking about earlier. And Aquila stops during mid-search before she even types in the item that they're looking for, because ironically, Aquila had went out and bought Laura one of the jerseys, because she knew that she was eyeing one of those for a while now. So she actually, yeah, she went out and bought it. She had went out and bought one, and you know, it just, you know, it pretty much hit all 3 of them, and they realized that, oh shit, you know, Dash just had a vision about Laura being killed. She's the next victim, and it's just like. It's like, oh my god, like what are they supposed to do? So then, you know, you have, god damn it, hold on, there we go. So then you have Dash and Laura who talk about, you know, if Laura has any enemies, and you know, of course she jokes about it, and she's like, yeah, you know, it is what it is. I pissed you off earlier, so it probably was you that killed me. Ha 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 ha. She jokes about it, but Dash, she's not laughing because this is not a laughing matter. But Laura just pretty much says that, of course, as an officer, I have a lot of enemies. You know, I've locked up a lot of people, so who's to say that it isn't one of them who may have outside connections and gets one of them to you know, kill me off. So, you know, Dash pretty much tells her that they're going to stop the murder before it happens, and he practically tells her to burn the jersey, throw it away, do whatever it is that you got to do so that we can change this vision. So he goes to see his brother Arthur, who, you know, pretty much when he goes into Arthur's house, he immediately punches him in the face, because it's like, you know, you bastard. Why did you not tell me about Laura? Why did you not tell me that you had got her name? Like, you son of a bitch. He like pretty much punched him in his mouth, and he just let him know that, you know, he's very pissed. But of course, Arthur then shows him the blueprints of the milk bath that Agatha had found, and he explained that whole thing about the plans from the past and how history can repeat itself. And Dash, he is not trying to hear that shit. He says no one knows about their whereabouts. However, he is wrong, because Laura does know about their whereabouts. But again, he says that, you know, he trusts Laura, and pretty much he just let Arthur know that if you have another name and you know the person who is in the vision who is going to possibly kill Laura, he's going to come back to fuck you up. That's just that. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, Dash may seem like the soft, quiet, dainty, pushover type, but when you push him to his limit, you'll see the real roughness of him come out. So I really like that. So that was pretty funny to me too, how he just stormed up in the house and just, bam, it was like, whoo, bam, like he just cocked back and just, whoo, just knocked his ass clean out. Anyway, back at the precinct, Aquila and Laura are talking, and Aquila feels so horrible for buying her the jersey, because she feels like she practically bought her a death jersey, as you know, she puts it. But of course, Laura tells her to calm down. We're gonna fix this. It is what it is. She has Aquila then go through a file of old people that Laura had arrested, and they come across this facility that is ran by a woman by the name of Dina Winters. Now, the program is called Revived, and it's basically a program to rehabilitate inmates. And so they then pull up all the files of the criminals that Laura had arrested specifically. They come across this man named Michael Lynn, who was a cess bar gang leader who was into selling women and selling other paraphernalia. And then they play the video footage from August 15th, 2063, 6 years ago, when she had arrested him and pretty much, put him on his ass. And so Dash and Laura then go to the facility. At first, he's very unsure. Dash is very unsure about going to the facility because of the vision. He feels like, them going to meet up with Michael for her to have sit down and talk with him at the facility that, you know, that might trigger him to try and kill Laura. But of course, you know, Laura just lets Dash know that as officers of the law, you know, as cops, you know, it's always a risk at dying on the job. So, you know, it is what it is. At first, you know, Dash, he wants to go alone, you know, to go meet Michael, but of course Laura's like, no, we're going to do this together because, one, they'll be safe, because two, there are police officers there in the facility, so it's not like they're going to be alone with this guy. So anyway, they go to they go to the facility and they meet Miss Dina Winters, as she takes them on a tour of the place, and they walk past this one room that has like different artifacts from the crimes that these inmates have committed. And they then go into the interrogation room, well, not necessarily the interrogation room, but a meeting room to go meet with Michael one-on-one. And pretty much, you know, Dina just pretty much, well, before that, Dina had told them that, oh yeah, we take the inmates out sometimes to like dinner, you know, to restaurants and museums, blah, blah, blah. Now, when she said that, and to be honest with you, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, girl, you really are taking these inmates outside in, you know, public domain for, you know, dinner dates and restaurants and museum tours? Like, what makes you think that one of them won't sneak off? Like, I'm pretty sure you have security guards and officers with you when y'all go out in public, but still, like, girl. Anyway, I just found that pretty interesting, my damn self. But anyway, hold on. But anyway, you know, they end up going to talk to Michael, and of course he's very cocky and arrogant, and he's just like, oh, you know, it is what it is, but he claims to be a changed man. However, Laura thinks otherwise, and she has a right to think otherwise, because, child, just because you say that you're a changed man or a woman or whatever, when a person says they changed, girl, please, it's going to be very difficult for you to take their word for it. Let's just say that. So anyway, she brings up the night that she took him down, and she says that, you know, well, he pretty much says that, oh, people only care about the present. Don't nobody really care about the past. Why are you bringing up the past? She pretty much, you know, says that, oh, well, you probably put a hit out on me, didn't you? And of course, he denies it, but in actuality, he was telling the truth. He didn't put a hit out on her. But pretty much, you know, they pretty much end their little meeting there. And as he is being escorted out by an officer, Dash has a vision that, oh shit, he's about to try to pull something. So he knocks out Michael knocks out the officer and tries to attack Laura, who then puts him on his ass for the second time. And she even told him, do you want to go 2 out of 3 times? Because she put you on your ass once, and now she just put you on your ass twice. So do you really want to go 2 out of 3? Best 2 out of 3. And pretty much, you know, he was very upset, and he felt like he was set up and pissed off. And as they're walking back through the room, Dina's just like, oh, you baited him, you triggered that, you set him up, like you made him go off. No, bitch, she didn't make him go off. She pretty much called it what it is. And if you're mad at that, girl, take that over somebody who actually gives a damn. That's all I have to say. Girl, bye. Bye, girl. Girl, bye. Anyway, as they're walking back through the room, Laura then sees her father's pocket watch in one of the casings, and she pulls it out and she asks Dina, who put this here? But of course, Dina does not know, because the inmates put stuff there anonymously, which then causes Laura and Dash to rethink about why it is that she ends up getting killed. So then we see that Laura and Dash, they are leaving the facility, as she brings up how finding the pocket watch is probably what ends up getting her killed. So then they go back to Wally's house and they ask him about the whole beta testing thing, but Wally says that the DIA may have them, the Defense Intelligence Agency. However, Dash and Wally tell Laura that it might not be the best thing to go to the DIA and start snooping around and asking about the whole beta testing thing, because then they're going to want to know, how is it that you know about the beta testing? So she, you know, just asks Dash if he trusts her. He says yes, and that's all she needs, and she you know, she takes off. So pretty much Laura and Will are at the DIA with Henry, and they are having a meeting, and they discuss the possibility of a terrorist attack. They don't know if it's going to be either domestic or international, but they pretty much discuss the possibility of a terrorist attack by the same people who had bombed this mall called, well, no, the same people who had bombed the NIH, and the group is called Momentum Mori, which is Latin for remember you will die. So Henry says that they, pretty much they missed the big picture with the precog program. This is when he brought that up, and he was just like, had they would have kept them, they could have, because the thing is, when the year that they had, not deprogrammed, but the year that they had shut down pre-crime, 4 months later, 4,000 people were massacred in this mall, and I believe it was by the same terrorist group who had bombed the NIH. So again, I apologize, you guys. I really had to like calm down and breathe a little bit. Like I get very excited, as I said, when I review Rosewood and Minority Report. I just have to really remind myself to breathe more is all. So I really apologize for that. Anyway, like I was saying, so so pretty much Henry just feels that they missed the ball with shutting down the pre-COGS program, which then ties back into what happened earlier when Agatha and Arthur had that meeting, and she was saying that the government had bigger plans for them, specifically the DIA. And so he then has to cut their meeting short because due to work matters, and this is when Laura brings up the whole beta testing, and she says, because the way that she played it off was that she heard rumors about beta testing, and of course Henry has a look on his face like, okay, and I was just like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit, no, oh god, she's about to expose them. So what ends up happening is let's see. What ends up happening is her, Will, and Henry are out in the hallway talking, and pretty much, he is explaining why beta testing was so secret, and how, like, if the public knew about it, this would have been a huge scandal for the government. And so she then asks about the murders that they had saw in beta testing, which are cold cases, and she brings up the reason why she wants to know about it is because of her father's death. However, unfortunately, the archives were destroyed back when the Supreme Court had ruled that pre-crime was unconstitutional. And he pretty much said that the only way for her to find, the visions from beta testing is to get a precog. And of course, he wishes her good luck on finding one, but she already knows one. Hello, she already works with one and knows his brother. Anyway, so, I found that pretty ironic. So then, Laura, Dash, and Wally are back at Wally's place, and, Dash says that it is impossible to know if he even has those memories still within his brain. However, Wally brings up that there are traces of those memories back from beta testing that he can bring up through this system that's called Beamer, and Beamer is short for Brain Imaging Memory Recall. And so, Wally just so happens to have several other machines that the government almost got rid of in his basement, and he has this big machine that can help them with the visions. Hold on, y'all. Let me check something right quick. Alright, anyway, so, like I was saying, pretty much, Laura had asked him, was it Laura? It was either Laura or Dash who had asked Wally why he didn't tell them about all these machines that he had downstairs, because he didn't know back then, because, this is way back then, he didn't know that victim was Laura's father. Laura says it's alright, forget about it, just forget it. But Dash says, no, let's do this. However, Wally warns them of some severe risks, such as very severe pain that Dash may experience from extracting memories from that far back. So of course they also will need Arthur, but of course Dash lets them know that Arthur is not going to help them. So Laura says, you know what, I'm going to go see him. So she finds Arthur at this luxurious not playing game. She finds Arthur at this luxurious card game that he's playing with a bunch of other international billionaires and millionaires or whatever, big wigs. And she pretty much, pulls him away from the table, and she pretty much says that one, Agatha is wrong. Two, Dash knows her heart. Three, that she is gonna need him to find the person who killed her father. And four, that she knows about beta testing. Five, that she is, well, not five, but she's like, if she's telling him all this, she's almost on the brink of tears because she really wants to know, she really wants to solve the case of who killed her father. So, she just tells him all this stuff, and the fact that she brought up the fact that the precogs before they were captured, they didn't know who their father was because he walked out on their mother. So, it's just help her with this case, and it is what it is. And he eventually gives in and he offers to help, and so they are at the basement. And when Wally meets Arthur for the first time in a long time, Arthur throws some straight up shade at him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember you. You used to do our nails." I said, "Damn. Okay, just shade the." I'm like, I'm just like, damn. Like, okay, shade the hell out of him. I mean, damn. Like, all right, shit. Anyway. So pretty much they strap up to the machine, and Arthur and Dash, they get ready. Wally gives the both of them a quick shot of alcohol, and he then gives them a mouthpiece to bite into, and pretty much he straps them up to the machine, and they pretty much start playing the memories and the visions. And as they're playing it, because this almost hit me too a little bit when I was watching the episode, because it was just like, it was so sad to see her have to relive. She was reliving the good moments, but then she also had to relive the bad moment, because this was the very first time that she had saw her father. This was the very first time that she had saw her father's death, and it was just like, oh shit. I just get emotional thinking about it, because it's like damn, like wow, like it's just like, damn, girl, the fact that you had to witness this in order to solve the case, like, god damn, you know what I'm saying? So, pretty much, the way that they end up finding out about who had killed her father was in one of the visions that they were playing. It was when Laura was a child, and her father was like whistling to her, and he would always whistle this tune. This whistling then, it catches the brother's brains, and the two of them end up fast forwarding to the vision the night that he was murdered. So, yeah, the night that he was murdered. And so, pretty much, yeah. So Wally asks if she wants. He asked her at first if she wanted to see the vision, and she said yes. And so she watches the vision, and she sees this homeless man walking past, and then she sees her father. Then there's this person holding a gun who points it and shoots him down. Now, at first, I had thought that it was the homeless man that we saw walking in the beginning of the episode, but in fact, it wasn't. It was none other, and this blew my edges back, because I was like, holy shit! It was Dina Winters. Dina Winters, because she used to be a dope fiend back in the day, and when Laura sees this, she is pissed off. Like, she is fucking livid. She's just like, motherfucker. Now you can tell the look in her face. It was like she was about to kill this bitch. So anyway, Laura and Dash are talking with Akilah, and pretty much they asked her to check Dina's records, and then they also asked, Dash had asked about this mystery man, the homeless guy. But Laura just says, skip that. I want to know about this bitch. And so she has a record for possession of drugs and gun possession, weapon possession, all this other stuff, like some somewhat minor stuff. And so pretty much, of course, again, Laura is pissed, and she says that I'm going to confront her, and I'm going to wear the lenses and my eyes, and I'm just going to confront her. If not about my father's murder. I'm going to confront her about my father's murder, but also I can arrest her for attempting to kill me. And of course, Dash is against it because it's just like he doesn't want to risk losing her. But of course, Laura ain't trying to hear that shit. So then Laura, pretty much, she's at her house and she's preparing to go out when her mother and her little brother stop by, and she talks to her mom about how she still misses her father, and Laura then asks her mother if she ever thinks about the person who killed her father, and she pretty much says that, I still think about what I would do if I caught them, but let's just say that I'm happy that I did not catch them, because her mother would have fucked them up. So pretty much before she leaves, her mother tells her that she got these chocolate cupcakes, which are like Laura's favorite, and Laura tells her to save the cupcakes. Save her piece of not a piece. She tells her to save a cupcake for her. So Laura and Dash are outside in a car waiting outside of Dina's house, and pretty much she's explaining what happened the day that her father died, how she was upset with him for some reason, because he was driving her to school wearing his uniform, and she asked him to drop her off a block away from school, and that she would just walk the rest of the way, and that was the last time that she saw her father. Again, I'm so sorry, y'all. I really had to clear my throat. And so, yeah, so she just, pretty much, she was basically saying, like, why this is so important to her. Of course, Dash tells her to be careful, which she says, I will be careful. She goes off, she goes to the front door, she knocks on the door. Dina answers, Laura walks right in, she pulls out the pocket watch. Dina, of course, denies recognizing it, but Laura is, of course, very pissed, so she's not trying to hear that shit. And so she knows that, Dina knows that Laura is recording it, in the device, the lens in her eyes, and pretty much, Laura is very pissed. Of course, Dina tries to apologize and explains that, oh, who I was back then, it's not who I am now, and I was a dope fiend, and I'm so sorry. Laura ain't trying to hear that shit. She pushes her, and Dina crashes through a glass table. And Laura then, pulls out her gun as Dina gets up and begs her not to shoot, that she's a changed woman. And, Laura asks her, where's her gun? She says, okay, I have one for protection. And then she tries to make a move, and Laura tells her, don't you move. Where's your gun? And she says, I don't know. It's like, she's panicking. It's just frustration. They're yelling at each other. It's fucking crazy. And then, she pretty much says that, who's the one with the gun? And then, Laura stops. And she's like, you know what, damn, you're right. She, she draws her weapon back, and then Dina says that she pretty much explains what happened with the murder of Laura's father, and how she basically said yes to doing the job, and the job was killing her father. So then, Dash, who's watching the whole thing from, inside the car via the eye lenses, he lets Laura know to turn around, because who do we see? We see a small child wearing the 2019 red Clouts jersey, and the child just happens to be Bradford, who is Dina's son, and he's holding a gun. And I'm like, oh my god, the vision was of Laura shooting him. It wasn't her getting shot, it was him. So pretty much, Dina's trying to tell her son to put the gun down, and he's just like, no, is my mom alright? Just, it's like a back and forth. And Laura, of course, explains what happened a long time ago, what his mother did, and that that Laura herself does not want to make the same mistake and take an innocent person's life. He eventually puts the gun down. Laura grabs both the guns. Dina rushes over and hugs, Bradford. Dash rushes in, and he checks and sees is everything okay. And then pretty much, Dina tells Bradford to go upstairs, and then she pretty much tells Laura that her dealer from back in the day, he told her to do this job for him because some guys had approached him and told him to get this officer killed. So I'm guessing that it's a little bit more to the story on why Laura's father was killed, because basically it seems like he was targeted. So I'm wondering if this is going to tie into the bigger picture that is why the precogs may end up getting caught. That's what I'm thinking, because I'm just like, okay, somebody had a hit out on your father for a reason. This wasn't just no random killing. So yeah, they pretty much, they make amends, and they just leave it at that. They go to Arthur to find out about this man's whereabouts, Dina's old drug dealer from back in the day. So pretty much, he says that he can't find much right now, but he will look into it. Laura thanks him, and he says that, oh, no need to thank me, but what I do need is an apology from Dash, because he punched me in the mouth earlier. And Dash said, I ain't got to apologize for nothing, because you damn near deserved it. Which I was here for, because he damn near did deserve it. So Dash then offers to help Laura with finding the man, and then he has a vision about and he tells her that when she goes home to grab a chair for some reason, which I'm about to get into. So Laura returns home to find a song that her father loved playing in the background. She finds her little brother asleep on the couch, and then she is greeted by her mother, and she also sees a cupcake on a little saucer plate with a candle in it on the table. And she's greeted by her mother, and she shows her mother the pocket watch, and then her mother almost collapses to the floor, which causes Laura to grab the chair, as Dash told her a few seconds ago. Grab the chair. They sat down. They had a tearful, hug it out moment because they finally got closure, on this cold case. And as they hugged, her mother was just saying, it's over because they finally got closure for the case. And that is it for this past week episode of Minority Report. Again, I encourage you all to really give this show a chance, really check it out, because I like the show. I mean, I'm not like these people who are so quick to down the show, because again, listen, I like the show, and I just say that in certain circumstances, you got to take the good with the bad in a sense. Also, I will probably do my Crash Course American Horror Story review tomorrow because my throat is really starting to hurt me, so I really need to do some vocal rest. But thank you guys for watching this video and for tuning in. This is your good guy PrinceOnyx. I am signing off for the night. I wish you all the best and have a wonderful week starting tomorrow. See you guys. Bye. Whew, Lord.